The following podcast has been rated R. You've been warned. Welcome to the greatest DC Legends podcast in human history. Well, okay, maybe not. But stick around anyway, because we're going to have some fun. You know me, I'm the AB. And along with my crew, we'll talk DCL and everything else in between. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Atlantis After Dark. Hello, and welcome. You found your way to our humble little podcast. Thank you so much for being with us today on this Memorial Day weekend edition of Double AD. For the love of God, you never have to miss a single episode. Grill that subscribe button and tickle the little bell icon on YouTube so you always know when we've dropped new content. And I mean, why would you guys want to miss another episode? We have such a good fucking time doing this, it should be criminal. And I know that when we have fun, you have fun too. And you guys have no idea. I have to tell you guys something at the top of the show that no matter what has always been the 100% truth. And it doesn't matter if I'm having a shitty run or a heck of a go at it. I always have fun with you guys. Doing the show has always been a huge bright spot in my week. And I want to let you guys know that I appreciate you guys, my all-star panel on both shows, actually, who give me their time every other Saturday or Sunday for doing the work you guys do behind the scenes, on the mic. You guys should know how absolutely grateful I am. And if I don't say it enough behind the scenes, I really should let our listeners know how much you guys really do. So just at the top of the show, I want to say thank you. You guys are awesome. You rock my world. And I couldn't do this without you. Okay.
We love you, man.
We have a lot to get to. What was that?
We love you, man. It was pre-intro, so I don't
this is
say
getting
too
edited.
much.
Exactly. I don't interrupt you at your last word. Come on. No, I'm sorry. Mike wants to interrupt the ballyhoo. Congratulations, Mike. You take over. You're in charge of the show now.
Oh, fuck. We're going to have bad ratings. Welcome, everybody. AB's back on the charge now. Go ahead.
No. All right. That'll all get edited out. We're just fucking around with each other.
No, leave it
all
in.
Right. Okay. Fuck it. We'll leave it in. We have a lot to get to today, including raids. What manner of sorcery is this? Did Merle actually get that shit moved back a week preview? And we'll take a quick look at the raid toons, whether we think they stink or not. And on a much happier note, we'll be talking about our growing list of super useful non-raid bonus toons that everyone should be working towards ranking and leveling up if you're not doing so already. And we have a brand new segment special for this episode called Lightning Round, which should be a lot of fun. New tunes, reworks, it's gonna be a blast. So let's quit screwing around. Let's meet today's All-Stars. First up, our resident Slug Force superstar. His wife tells me she affectionately calls him Slinky. When I asked why, she said, he's not really good for much, but I'd really love to see him get pushed down the stairs. He's the Italian BMT of podcasters. I almost fucked that up. It's Black Flash. How you going, pal?
The Italian BMT of podcasters. It makes me feel like Rocky for some reason. I'm the Italian stallion.
Hey, yo, Adrian.
I'm going to be looking behind me every time I go down the stairs now.
Because Mickey loves you, damn it. All right.
Cut me, Mick.
Next
Cut
up.
me.
Next up, his hobbies include drinking, masturbating, and collecting Nickelback concert programs from the late 90s. It's Biff by Adam West. What's the story, Coachies? Why Nickelback?
That was 2 truths and a lie right there. I'll let everyone guess which one's the lie.
I'm going to guess masturbation.
The masturbation, right?
No,
Yeah,
Nickelback.
that's the
Nickelback.
Oh, boy. Look at this photograph. All right. Joining them, if the phrase "stay away from schools and parks" manifested itself into human form, it would be this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Retmus. How's it hanging, Big Kahuna?
Oh, it's hanging great. I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm ready to really get into it today.
All right. And finally, today, she's starting a new online service for people who want to see risque photos of her after being banned from OnlyFans. I told her I already have the perfect name for her website. It should be called Only Refunds. Please welcome back to the show, Witty Amazon. What's happening?
It's good to be back. How's everyone doing?
We're doing great. We're doing great. Yes, it is fit. We had to roast you good coming back to the show like that after a break.
Oh,
yeah, a lot of stuff going on, so I really needed that break, but I'm very, very glad to be back. It's a great time to be back. I know we're going to have a banging episode. Dang right.
We are going to have a banging episode, and speaking of having a banging episode, let's get right into it. New raid toons. Oh, dear God. So, what do we think of this month's raid toon list? Retmus, what's your first thoughts on it? I mean, good grief.
Well, I mean, looking at, just vaguely going over it, there's quite a few characters on there that are pretty much neutered because they either apply bleeds or disease, and it doesn't affect, the bosses at all. But yet, if you really look into it, like Constantine, for example, if you take like Constantine and let's say Saint Walker in a black mask and then throw Superwoman in there, they could call assist constantly on her, ramping her up to where she's just going to obliterate everybody. Even though they might not do damage, like Constantine's basic attack does nothing, but he calls assist. So you got to like really be strategic about it. I mean, at face value, looking at the characters themselves, it's kind of weak. But then if you really dive into it, you're like, okay, well, I could make some cool combos out of that. But, what's the difference really between Constantine being, his normal ability or 5x because his basic does no damage? So it's really not helpful for that unless, it's a bump in his stats to keep him alive longer. That would, be beneficial. Sure. Barda, her stun would come in handy, but she's only a 2x. Larfleeze, I think he would crush it at 3x. He did last time. I think we had him as 3x, sure. And I mean he just obliterated everybody.
Batman, he did a good job.
Yeah, Batman Who Laughs being a 5x, I think he will wreak havoc and damage. I really think people will be surprised at him. I haven't played with him that much. Yeah. I have him at level 70. But he seems like he's going to be a pretty good character. I'm just not a big fan of the design of him because it reminds me of a Hellraiser movie. One of the characters from one of those movies.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he fits in with DCL. It's just weird to me. Yeah. But that's just my brief assessment. I don't want to take too much time.
Sure. Witty, what do you think?
I don't know. As usual, I think the times 2 toons will be irrelevant. I don't think they do enough damage to be noticed. That being said, my favorite picks to be the MVPs of this particular selection will be Batman Who Laughs. I think he does a decent amount of damage and he'll be relevant despite Superwoman. I think he will be a good addition. And John Constantine also, because even though it doesn't do damage on his basic, his call assists will be awesome, and he'll be helpful. And being on 5X, he will be able to just stand his ground and not die instantly, and he will be call assisting the damage dealer. So I think he'll be pretty good. I'm gonna back Redmus on Lovelace. He is a big damage toon, so I think even as a 3X, he will be pretty relevant. The other ones, I'm not so sure. I would also give a thumbs up to Lex. I think he is a good damage, but given the fact that you have Batman and Superwoman, I don't think he'll be as relevant because we have too many physicals as good damage dealers already. So he sits that one back.
Sure. So let me ask you then, BF, is that accurate on your count? Are you in camp Batman Who Laughs?
Yeah, I'm thinking so. He's going to be exciting when there's minions, and you go in and you take out the minions first rip, and then he'll pop off 2 free attacks right away and start stacking some of those crit ups. Then he gets really gets going. And another one for like a blue
they
day.
put minions on day 1 now.
Is it on day
Don't
1?
they?
Isn't that only on the lanterns?
Yeah.
Is it?
That was the way it was last time.
So that's even better then. Those minions are really going to make him go off. And then Blue Day, it could be fun with like a dark side lead. Batman Who Laughs, and even Alex, because he hits like a fucking freight train on that basic. So with all those call assists, once Darkseid gets going, Darkseid, it's going to be awesome. It'll be really cool. They'll lay out some damage. And I agree on Larfleeze. He'll be a good one. Yeah. He's always good, especially once he starts stacking those int-ups. Other than that, the rest can just sit down. I would never put Big Barda in any lineup. Her animations are going to take so long that you're just going to drain your clock and not get anything useful out of it. So
her animations, I know. Never mind her damage.
Yeah, her damage is...
and
is useless, but she'll just eat more time.
That real long pause when she uses all her mins to heal herself, and you just sit there and wait. That is so annoying.
Yeah, it reminds me of Windows 95 when you were waiting for some porn to load up.
Ooh, Windows 95? The fuck kind of computer are you using over there?
Hey, that
Windows
was my
95.
first computer.
He's talking about remember Windows 95. He doesn't have to remember. He's looking at it right now.
Hold on, let me move my abacus.
Well, that's the only thing they had at Goodwill.
Poor bastard.
That's the only thing they had at Goodwill.
Windows 95.
That was a good one, right?
Oh my God, Biff.
No, not to double up on what anyone said, but it's for me, it's pretty much what everyone said. I'll just add one thing. I mean, Batman Who Laughs is going to be the MVP this raid. He is. I have him 80 and maxed out. He hits like a freaking truck. Like BF said, if you kill multiple people with an AOE, he will just do his attack as many times as people were killed. So he really shines. I like him a lot. He's actually helping my evasion comps a lot because of that, of not having to have an offensive turn, because if I kill 2 people with a retail, all of a sudden he goes off and kills the other 2. So
yeah, he's sweet.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool character.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah. But the one thing I'll say, Constantine, people were down on him because the bleeds and his Repma says no damage. But I remember him as being one of the MVPs last time he was a 5-time because of what everyone said, the call assists. Mm-hmm. The problem with him is, I remember that raid, he was really most effective if you used him manually. Which I refuse to do, from a quality of life perspective. So I'm not sure how much I'll use Constantine. But the one person I'll add that no one said is I'll add Heatwave to the mix, potentially. Okay, let's see. I mean, he has an AOE that hits pretty good. He does special damage. He does turn meter down on his basic. He applies true damage whenever he's damaged to the attacker. So I think as a 5-time, he has a potential to do okay versus red bosses. That's the only thing I'll add.
Honestly, if you're in a pinch and don't have many of the toons and you happen to have Heatwave, him and Lex would probably run really well together. With the buffs he puts on and the healing, then I think
Yep.
Flex increases special damage.
Yep.
Yeah. I also believe that doesn't he get like 100% turn meter up when someone's killed? Or
I don't think it's 100, but he gets turn meter up.
So when
someone's killed. So when you get a minion.
Yeah, that would be beneficial right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I think... Shit, hang on.
You know what's funny? The words King
What's
Shazam
that?
and Vandal Savage never came out of any of our mouths.
No,
Or
nobody
Bizarro,
wants
too.
King Shazam.
That's just because I'm so sad.
Bizarro.
Vandal Savage as a 2-time, too. Hey, thanks for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I would be even more sad if he was at times 5. You know,
Really?
it would still be useless.
It's a waste of a spot.
So it's a waste of a spot
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
So he's good at it 2x. I'm happy
Well,
with that.
thankfully, we don't have to wait. Well, yeah, but thankfully we don't have to waste spots on
So true.
the team because there are plenty of other characters in the game that aren't raid tunes that do really well in raids. In fact, I believe that there is a character listing out there from Convoluted, and it is a pretty definitive listing of non-raid tunes that are extremely useful in raids. What do you guys think about this listing overall? Just give me your really quick thoughts on whether you have any agreements or disagreements with that
I have a
list.
lot of disagreements. I
Right.
commented on Reddit right away. The way I look at it, and I know this is the way our alliance looks at it. I look at non-bonus raid tunes is let's simplify it. There's a handful of real big superstars. That list that Convoluted had over 30 characters. You know, they put them into hitters, leaders, support, and then some category I didn't understand called miscellaneous. And none of the miscellaneous are worth anything. You know, I know Whitty will love this. Under miscellaneous, they had Guy Gardner, Poison Ivy. And the response I got on Reddit when I challenged it a little bit was, well, we need a bigger list for newer or lower level players. And I kind of pushed back on that, saying, well, newer and lower level players, you should want to simplify it more. The last thing I'd want to see is, hey, I need to gear up 30 tunes, and they classify Hawkman as a hitter, and like I'm just looking at it, and I'm just I just looked at it, and I'm like, okay, this when we did this exercise with our alliance, and because some people asked us to really, hey, who should I work on? We really did a list of 5 or 6, and then maybe another couple to consider. For the October Scarecrow raid. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need. Like, know, since Darkseid and Lois came out, listen, just let's simplify this thing. You know? They're going to be there every raid. I actually think Batman Who Laughs might be added to this list because of the damage he does.
Yeah.
But, I simplify the game, people.
I completely agree with Biff. I mean, you need to just dwindle it down and just be focused on the main characters that do the damage, because it doesn't matter. It matters because the damage has to be done quickly and you have to win as fast as possible. If it didn't matter if we had unlimited time to do it, then we could bring in all kinds of tunes, that would, be beneficial the longer you play out the match. But that's not what raids are for. So, definitely agree with Biff.
Yeah. So, I know that, Whitty, you have your own favorite raid tunes. Do you still use Hippo quite a bit in the lead position?
I still do.
Do you use Darkseid?
Sometimes I use both. I really like to simplify stuff.
Sure.
And as all of them have said, the list is way too big. I always have an issue with having green essence to level up my heroes. And if you go ahead to a newer player and say, hey, these are the raid essential toons, no one is going to be able to gear all of them. And they will not always be useful in every raid. You know what I'm saying? For example, Owlman and Steppenwolf will be great for October raids, and you can gear them over time. And once you get there, you're ready. But they're not going to be useful for you now.
Yeah.
I think the most useful toons on that list for me are Hippo, Darkseid, Lois, Arcus, and Saint Walker to an extent, but I don't think he's as relevant as he was when he came out. If you have those toons, you will definitely get your raids done, your objectives done, and you can easily get to milestone 70. You don't need any of those other toons.
And by the way, just one thing, they mentioned the thing about newer players, right?
Exactly.
So what do you think when you think newer players? You think farmable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
There's only 4 farmable, like really, really farmable shards, maybe 5 on their whole list. And 2 of them is Emerald Archer, Green Arrow, and Cyborg. Okay, so 2 of the 5 farmable. The only real farmable, if you count red alerts, we have Arcus, we have Lex, and why am I drawing a blank on the other one? Arcus, Lex, and there's one more that's might be fairly decent, but yeah. So they have a list, and there's not enough farmable characters on it for newer people.
Hawkgirl has 1 node only, so you can't really farm her.
No.
My biggest issue with that list is the heavy hitters. Every good toon that had a decent raid damage as a 5x, they put it in there. I mean, Hawkman was a 3x last time around, and my Arcus was doing 3 times more damage, not being a bonus. Why is he there?
Yeah.
Artemis, why is she there?
Yeah.
She was good as a 5x when she came out, but nobody uses her now without a multiplier. I'm sorry. She was good then, but I don't think she's relevant now.
How about Guy Whitty?
Yeah.
Why is Guy Gardner on there? Can you help me out with that one?
Believe it or not, I've used him outside of a multiplier like once, like 2 raids ago.
But what I didn't even get, and maybe I'm not all in on his kit or anything, but I didn't even get where they were going with that.
Agility downs.
Okay, so a Riddler type.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used him for that, and the damage immunity for him and Arcus start of the battle. It's kind of useful, but mostly for agility downs.
Okay.
It was a one-time thing. Yeah. I'm ready to hate on him again.
If I was going to make one observation about the whole thing, I would say this. It seems to me like the raid toons are becoming fodder for Steve to sell shards of characters that he knows are unpopular, because they always offer these toons in the store during raids and prior to. Hey, raids are coming up. Wouldn't you like 15 to 35 shards of Starfire or whoever it is?
Starfire, yes.
Yeah, 50.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Vandal
Starfire's
Savage,
a bad example. Vandal
Now,
Savage,
Steve,
right. Oh, 15
I
to
do
35.
appreciate the raid tunes for that fact of getting the shards, so don't stop. Sometimes it pays off. I like it.
Poor bastards like Black Flash.
Poor bastards.
Before we switch out to our next topic, have you guys ever seen the post by a guy called Help Me Unpossessed on Reddit? He does like all these cartoon hand drawings of the characters.
They're so funny. I love them.
They are fantastic.
Right.
And his latest one he did, I mean, I absolutely love the Big Barda skit. She's sitting there leaning up against the box, giving you the middle finger, and it says, "I won't win, but neither will you." He deserves a shout out because he's doing so awesome at those.
Definitely. No, definitely.
Yeah, that was a funny one.
How long has he been doing that?
It's been a while.
Has it been a while? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good grief.
And they're done so good. I love them because they're
They
so
are.
cartoony, but they're done so well.
Yes.
I like your list, by the way, Convoluted. Good job. Everybody else bashed you.
Well, right. I was going to get to you, BF. What say you about this whole ordeal?
Cocksucker.
No, I agree. I agree with a lot of what everybody said there about minimalizing, making it simple. But with that said, they put a lot of work into it. Good job for the thought and everything there. But as you guys were talking, I was sitting here looking a little closer at it. And each of the category, they also put frames around them for like a gold tier, silver tier, and then nothing.
Right.
So looking at that, in each of those tiers, they actually did nail the important tunes for each of those tiers right there. That being said, they could just probably chop the rest of that list off of there. I get what they were doing with the lower geared people, but I also understand what Biff said. That's intimidating when you're a newer player and you come in and see that. You start thinking you have to gear all those people.
Yeah, and they're ones you can't get.
Yeah, exactly. And because I remember being in that situation where I didn't always have the tunes, and I'd use Reverse Flash in like every raid because he was one of my most powerful ones. So you struggle and you find your ways, but I would say the first three from leaders, support, and hitters are probably the best ones to put on there. You know, you got Steffi and
You know what? I'm going to
it's
go
just
ahead
all over the place.
and
It's
tell you
confusing.
something.
Look what it's doing to me.
You only need 3 tunes out of those: Dark Side, Hippo, and Lois. That's all you need.
You got a point.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, all you see is generations of raids there. Every single generation of raids tunes is on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the very first 3 are all you really need anymore.
You know what?
It's kind of sad.
I'll actually,
That's good.
By the way, I missed the gold outline thing that BF just brought up. That's a really good point. Because that makes me look at this list a little different. Okay, like not to bash it, because there is a lot of work put in here. But the gold outlined are Darkside, Saint Walker, Atro, Hippo, Riddler, Owlman, Lois, and Arcus. Those are their gold. Now, I probably wouldn't do gold for Saint Walker and Atro. I think those would be more.
They got Shiva
silver
gold too, which is a bad one.
Shiva's the one that I wouldn't even put on my list at all. That they have a gold.
Yeah.
But other than that, so I guess they did rank them that way. But I mean, Steppenwolf, Owlman for October only.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a case for Saint Walkers, Lex, Riddler. I think Harley Quinn, quite vexing, is kind of going by the wayside with better reds coming by. She used to be kind of a one that you'd look at, but
sure,
it's really once you get past 6, I think you're reaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you notice Constantine there?
Yeah.
He was a 5-time one time. That's why he's there, Witty. They took everyone that was decent at 5 times and just threw him on.
Ivy on there makes me laugh because people used to promote Ivy a long time ago for raids because of her buff copy, but she's became so irrelevant too as of late.
Yeah.
Well,
but let's end it like kind of like on a positive. I mean, we do have to give them a little bit of props because they are trying to take their time out and help the community in a way.
Yeah.
Even though we might not agree with everything, at least it is beneficial to some people out there. So, I give them props for that.
Yeah, I would give him too. It's a lot of thought put into it, and I can see why they've chose those characters. I'm just saying that if you're on a budget and if you're low on XP max or energy, if you really need to focus, you gotta pick certain tunes. Remember Medfield was a 5 times 2 raids ago. Nobody used him, and he's there. So you really need to
power and call assist. That's the 2 most
use what you
things.
can. Use whatever you can. I think that's the big takeaway. And
except for heroin, don't use heroin.
Speaking from experience.
Oh,
from the streets of the 313.
Good Lord. All right, folks. Well, we're going to use this opportunity to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Double AD will be right back. Howdy, folks. Merle here, and I got a question for you. what happens when you stick your hand all the way to the bottom of a barrel? Well, I'll tell you what you get. You get Jericho and Starflinger, or whatever the hell her name is. Hell, I don't know. Why are we getting these ridiculous characters? I mean, are we out of choices already? Did we come to the end of the line? What's next? Donkey Boy from Sector 8472, who also happens to be a Green Lantern on a planet where there's only donkeys? Well, that makes about as much sense as Jericho, or Star Lady, or whatever the hell else she is. I don't know. Looks like it's going to be a nice and easy month for yours truly. Until next time, this is Merle saying, don't shit where you eat. See you on down the road.
We have all of this without you. You cannot bargain with what you don't have. Jor-El, our jailer, the son of Jor-El, on this planet. We will bring him to his knees. Revenge. Come! Kneel before Zod!
And welcome back. Welcome back to Double AD. We're going to do something new on this special Memorial Day No Raid edition of Atlantis After Dark. Are you guys ready for a new adventure?
Absolutely.
Always.
Let's do this.
Should we
All
take
right.
shrooms?
Well, you should. Not anybody else, but you. You should.
Too late.
Oh, God. All right. Let's get ready for this. We're going to have the very first Double AD lightning round. Each one of you has exactly 90 seconds to summarize your preview for the new tunes and reworks that are coming out. And I'll just give you a quick reminder. They are Jericho, Blackfire, Terra, and Starfire. You have just 90 seconds each. And I'm actually going to start my timer here. If I can find the damn thing.
I don't want to go first. Just saying.
Stalling for time. Stalling for time.
Anybody know how to spell Wikipedia?
Whoever has the most notes goes first.
There we go. Okay. I am ready to rock and roll. Right. This is as brief a summary as you can make it while getting as much in as you can. I want to see how well you guys do with this. All right? Let's do this. I am going to start, and I'll pick somebody at random, and that random person is Biff. 90 seconds on my mark. Go.
Okay, so if we start with Blackfire, and by the way, we don't have kits, so I don't know how we're going to be able to break them down too much here. But, basically says she's an anti-shield and defense character. And it says, uses stellar energy to deplete enemy shields and defenses, exposing them to devastating attacks.
Characters are up, Biff.
Are they?
Yep.
When?
Right now. They just popped up.
Oh,
60 seconds.
Too late for this show. We're going with what we already
wait,
had.
They just
Go with what you have.
Okay.
You're
So
wasting your
that's
time.
That's Blackfire, and that's Starfire's sister, I guess I'm been told. Jericho, which is, what, Deathstroke's son
Second
or
son.
something? Yeah. So says possessing others, stun when possessing. The one thing I didn't like about what it said in the little clue, it says, and causes hits to focus on the people that are stunned, which I think is kind of silly, because I like to focus away from the people that are stunned to do damage after. And it says he protects and buffs the rest of his team. So he looks like a support character. And the two reworks, I'll sum it up real quick, because I know my time is... Steve, you're a twat. Reworking 2 green can't miss characters. Fuck off.
And that's time.
30 minutes.
That's time.
It was good.
Yeah, 90 seconds. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. I was worried that you weren't going to get the reworks in, but you saved those for a very brief, quick little shout at the
Bastards
end.
drop the kits while we're recording.
I know.
Shit.
I know. All right, Retmus. You are up, my man.
Ooh, Ret Daddy.
And you start right now.
All right. Well, for Tara, I'm not looking at their kits or anything that just popped up, but she was always a good anti-evasion character. If they get rid of her gates, that's what pretty much made her kits pretty weak. If they get rid of the gates and let her apply her abilities straight out, I think she will be a definite anti-evasion character. She'll be probably, I would say, up there in the B, high Bs, maybe possible low A. Starfire was always great. She just suffered from the power creep. I think if they give her a slight bump up, maybe a little bit more on the... I think her thing was kind of like the anti-evasion as well. Just continue with that theme. She doesn't really need anything major. Blackfire, like I said, we don't really have a kit on her. So I feel she's going to kind of be similar to Starfire a little bit because it's supposed to be her sister with just a little variation here and there. I think she'll be probably the star character because of course, she's going to be the one we have to pay for. Yeah. And Jericho, there was a comment that BF made about him where like he might have that one ability where he can like debuff a character and stun him on the same exact move or something like that. That seems kind of cool. I really want to dive into the kit and see what.
And that's time. So what didn't you get to?
No, that's it. I'm good.
then the timer's irrelevant.
Right.
Okay, your time's up. All right. Anything to add?
Boy. No. You're right. So, I was asking him because I wanted to see if he missed anything. Did he miss a character?
No. I named them all.
No.
You named them all? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm going to go look at the
couldn't
kits.
remember.
Yep.
I'm
already looking.
All right.
Don't spoil it. I want to look when we're done.
All right.
Black Flash.
Uh-oh.
Get ready, pal. Your time starts now.
All right, so I'm going to start off with Jericho because I'm most excited about him, and despite what Retmus thinks, I think he is going to be the better toon of the month. I don't know why, but just his description intrigued me. The stun, at first I thought it might have been a stun and a taunt apply, but I'm wondering if maybe it draws the attacks back towards him afterwards because it says he passively protects his team. I don't know, but he sounds intriguing to me. Blackfire, other than being Starfire's sister, don't know much about her. She was, I believe, supposed to be the stronger one, so I'm just hoping for overpowered craziness. Starfire and Tara, I want them both to keep their can't miss. Sorry, Biff. And as far as Tara, the one thing that I doubt it will happen, but she had the passive where she had a percentage to attack her team. I would have loved for them to take that and make it an actual part of a move instead of a passive. That way, when it went off, it could trigger Coda and Azrael to go back at the other team as well. That would be kind of cool. So maybe they did something neat with that because I like the concept of hurting your own team and you can kind of manipulate it to your benefit as long as it's not a passive. But other than that, we got to do, 3 greens this month and a blue? Something like that. So have fun with that. And I think I beat my time. I talked too fast.
Well,
Starfire
and that's time.
has orange skin. Okay.
So I want to tell you guys, you know that you don't have to use all 90 seconds, right? If you can get it in 20, I'd have taken that too.
Oh, okay.
I'm not trying to say that you have to use all 90 seconds. If you can do it in less, badass.
Okay, well then that was it.
Yeah. Tara's going to be great.
Yeah, I just looked at them.
Yeah.
By the way, both of them.
Hang on.
Both
Hold on.
of them are going to be good.
Yes.
hold on, because here's what we're going to do. Whitty hasn't taken her turn yet, so let's keep doing this blind, and then we can actually talk about some breaking news on the show for a change, and we'll go over their kits. Right. Where's Hugh? We're going to have a Hugh bumper in here now.
He was always doing bumps.
Right. He was always doing bumps of Coke or something. All right. Whitty, you may start now.
Okay, reworks, Starfire and Terra. More charge for both can't miss toons, so thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. I know Pip's going to be pissed, but I'm very grateful. New toons, Jericho, I'm not really into him as a character, but his description seemed interesting. That whole thing reminded me of Deadman. That possessing and stunning thing reminded me a bit of Deadman, and I like him, so I think he's going to be good. Blackfire, I wanted her to be the best one out of them all because I really like the character. She's one of the few characters I actually wanted in-game. But an anti-shield character, I don't think she's going to be that special after all, so I'm kind of disappointed if that's her main trait. But I think she's going to do decent damage because Starfire does too, so I'm hoping. And that's it?
That's it. All right, you came in 1 minute and 1 second.
And I win.
Yeah, you win. And
the real speedster.
Ooh, that's right.
Speedster, she says.
She told you. This is breaking news. Well,
where are you guys finding these kits at?
In the game.
Jericho looks like a silence based character. Yeah, because he can't talk. The real character
just talked a lot of shit.
Right.
He
has internal dialogue.
He also does stuns, and call assist on characters.
Jericho's going to be a monster.
His passive hand signal seems pretty good. If any character is attacked, it starts off at 50% chance to apply taunt on that character. So if anybody on your team gets attacked, they may get a taunt thrown on them.
Oh, shit.
Which could be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could. You can't protect a taunter that way.
No.
The reworks are crazy.
So you're finding the kits just by the kits being live in game?
In game, yeah.
Bummer.
And
So what changed for Terra's kit?
They got rid of all her gates, for one.
Yeah, Terra's good.
Yeah.
Like, on paper, she's really, really good. I mean, some really valuable stuff here.
Good.
Obviously, green ability on her basic to apply heal immunity. On her buffing, her 2.
Yeah.
Give debuff immunity to the team on legendary.
Chance up to the team.
Debuff immunity on the team. Her first passive, so her 4. Her legendary is use Rock Solid at the start of battle, which Rock Solid is the one, if you have that legendary, it gives debuff immunity to the team. So your team is starting with debuff immunity, which is
4 hit chance ups.
Yeah, which is really...
And 30% shield.
Really good.
Wow, 4 hit chance ups, 30% shield, and gets debuff immunity on the whole team at the start of battle.
Right.
Ooh, she applies agility ups and
so that's like
uses her
Hal
second.
Jordan's ability right there too.
Yeah.
So you don't have to use him for lead anymore to be worried about being debuffed. She can instantly do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty good.
So we could throw Martian Manhunter on there as lead. She'll start everybody off with it, so you won't get enraged by Harley.
And plus, she's can't miss. So she's going to minimize Hal Jordan now.
Yeah.
And Harley.
Yeah, Harley's going to be irrelevant now with her.
I don't know about irrelevant.
Well, I've got her RB5. I like her.
Yeah, no, I know.
She's a Harley buster.
Well, and by the way, Starfire is
awesome.
Is no slouch as it relates to can't miss green.
Yeah.
And by the way, I have Starfire RB1, so I'm a fan of Starfire, but this is just this
wow.
is obviously just a shot at me. These two reworks.
Check out Starfire's third.
Oh, I know.
Special damage to all enemies. Lose all intelligent ups. Max 5. Apply 10% additional special damage per intelligent up. So she has the possibility to do, 50% extra if she has?
Yeah.
That's a lot of special damage.
And if she's ramped, her legendary...
And it's can't miss.
No. If she's ramped, can't miss if Starfire has 5 plus intelligent ups.
Damn.
So if I have reds, Cassie, Harley Quinn, Batgirl, and then say Eclipso or
She's
something.
also got a stun.
She'll
wipe
your
them
whole
out.
team.
Her AoE will wipe out an entire evasion team if she gets to 5 intelligence ups.
Oh, I love
Rebirth, baby.
Hey, Biff, I'm coming.
Hey, listen, I already have a rebirth, so listen, I get to pick my team too,
Sure.
So when I go up against those Batgirl teams that annoy me, I can use this. I have Starfire RB, I have Terra RB3 eligible. So, by the way, I was happy with the reworks. I was more joking before when I said it was a shot at shot at me. Like, I like these characters. I think Terra's been underrated for a long time, and now you add that debuff immunity to the team at the start of battle. Terra's completely relevant.
What about Star? Is there a preliminary guesswork we can do on Starfire's legendary order now?
I can tell you, I just did it. I pulled a witty because I already have her, RB1. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5, yeah.
But I will tell you, her 1 is definitely has to be up there because that's what gives her can't miss.
Yeah.
75. Her 2 will be a 75% chance to stun if an enemy has an evasion
Save
up.
4 for last. Because it's based on an enemy dying, a teammate dying.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I always save those for last.
Yep.
And you want to have those 2 can't misses, so I would pick 1 and 3.
Yeah.
To be effective against evasion. And, for 2 and 5, it's debatable if you want the death immunity or the chance to stun. Depends on what you like best.
But the death immunity...
1, 3, 2, 5, 4.
The death immunity is only if an ally is healed. So I would definitely put 5 and 4, 4 last, 5 second to last.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3 is in any order. Those are all must-haves
right off the bat.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3 are all must-haves. So she is viable at L3.
I agree 100% on that.
Yep.
Man,
I would tend to agree.
Both of these guys look awesome.
And for Terra...
Yeah, I was just going to ask. What about Terra?
So her one that, just like Whitty said, the one that is based on a death of a teammate is because I have her L4. She'll be L5 very shortly now. But I left off her 5, which is if based on someone dying. But if you look at...
You're going to want...
One is heal immunity. 2 is debuff immunity to the team. So for example, I would go 2-4 because 4 is what gives the debuff immunity at the start of battle. 2 is what gives the debuff immunity to the team. So you need 2 first, then 4.
Oh yeah.
2, 4, 1, 3, 5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 2, 4, 1, 3, 5.
Yep. I definitely agree.
Yep.
I think that's solid logic.
Look at this breaking news on AMD.
I know.
I wish we could see the full kits for Jericho and Blackfire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Neither
great.
one of them really looked terrible, though. I'm still excited for Jericho.
Yeah. Well, look, fantastic. Very rare that we get breaking news on Double AD, and I'm so glad we did because
good job, Retmus,
that's
awesome. Picking up on that.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Retmus, you're giving you're giving our boy Hugh a run for his money over there. Ace fucking reporter.
Man, this is cool. I want to know what the legendary for this move's going to be from Jericho. The move called Sorry. Special damage to a single target and 75% chance to stun. Also call assist a random teammate on the target. That's flipping cool. So
Yeah.
that's a base power too. So I bet you that stun ends up going up to 100%. So basically,
likely, yeah.
you stun the person like you do with Darkseid on the hit, but then you call assist on the person instead of doing the second attack like Darkseid does. So you could have him on the team, stun him. Darkseid could come in on his call assist, stun him again, hit him a second time. That's going to be a fun tune. Sorry, tangent.
No, you're good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the... We now return you to your regularly scheduled broadcast, already in progress.
I just saw an Alliance note on Discord that said Biff is really going to hate Terra's rework. Thank you, SecJew, for pointing that out.
Yes. Speaking of reworks, I wanted to cover this really quickly before we close the show out today. We don't do this very often. You guys know that we chat with all kinds of people from the community, and we all get feedback on the show and things that we discuss from time to time. And we love getting those, by the way. But today we're going to have a quick mailbag discussion on a segment we did last episode where we came up with our own reworks, who we wanted to see reworked. As you may recall, Cyborg was one of my requested reworks. And I got this message from Lunatic Zombie, who sent his own take on that rework. And I thought it'd be fun for us to sort of quickly dissect that a little bit. Lunatic Zombie writes, "Hey man, just wanted to say that I love your podcasts. Thank you very much for listening. We appreciate it. Here is his take on the kit for Cyborg. I've shared this with you guys all. You've had a chance to look at it. Triangulating blast, damage to an enemy, gain 3 empowered strength ups, can't miss. His legendary would be gain 5 crit ups. His charged cannon would be a heavy damage. Doesn't say whether it's an AoE or not, but I have to assume it's just to one person. 50% chance to hit, 100% chance crit damage to invisible or taunting enemies, which I think is interesting. Legendary is 100% chance to hit if he has true sight. Overclock, he would change that to gain an overheal and 20% shield. Also gain 50% turn meter up. Legendary on that was gain true sight if an enemy is taunting or invisible. Again, a very interesting change. Team Sport. Passive team gains 15% team turn meter up and 10% shield if an ally is buffed. Cyborg gets 1 empowered strength up. Legendary 75% chance to gain can't miss buff to the ally that buffs, which, boy, that sounds great.
Boo.
I do dig that.
No, I don't.
Dig that.
No, we can't create new buffs here.
Sure we can.
Especially a can't miss buff, please.
I actually made a note about that.
There actually is a can't miss buff.
What is it?
Because Cyborg Superman has it. Whenever he does it, it applies the can't miss symbol, and it allows him his next attack not to miss. Same with Cyborg. His first attack can miss, and then he'll get that one symbol, which it looks like a normal like a target. It looks like a little target, and it appears.
There was a symbol.
It's a little bullseye. It's a little bullseye.
I use Cyborg Superman all the time, and nobody knew that's what that was.
Yeah,
it's a
can't miss.
How funny!
But nobody else uses it.
I wonder how they kept track of that.
Steve.
But both times they're giving it to themselves. Where this is he's saying
giving it to a
give
teammate.
Mm-hmm. It to somebody else, which I think that's interesting. And I guess I can't knock it if it really does exist today. But I'm still against it, though.
Yeah, go use Cyborg Superman. You'll see it pop up. You'll see the little bullseye pop up.
Well, maybe it's unique to robots because, Cyborg is a cyborg and Cyborg Superman is also a cyborg. So maybe it's a special power unique to cyborgs. I don't know. But lastly here, his optimized system gives him a passive 75% chance to gain true sight if an ally is attacked, which I always thought he should have had some true sight on him. And, of course, the legendary reduce the physical and special anyone who would make him not too OP or less viable. Damage by, and he has a variable there, X%. So that's the kit as a whole. Just really quick, I know we already kind of discussed the team sport where he has the can't miss buff that apparently is only available to cyborgs. But what about the rest of the kit? What do we think about the rest of it? Is there anything that sticks out at us? What do we like about it most?
I like the true sight.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I think that's a good one. I like the, true sight if there's someone taunting and invisible. I think he did a good job with some of the legendary orders. I didn't really understand 5 as much, but the legendaries and the others I liked. The only thing I would change, because it looks a little bit much for me, is I would change the 1 and get rid of the 5 crit chance ups on the legendary and make the legendary can't miss. For a legendary, I need a gate for that.
Sure.
Can you at least spend some of your capital to get can't miss? So I would make that the legendary. But other than that, I thought it was.
Isn't that what he already has, Biffed? Like his first attack can miss, and then the second one doesn't.
That's on his 2. That's on his triangle blast.
Charge cannon.
If he get his first, is his first completely can't miss, or is it gated? I don't even know.
It's gated. You use it, and then the second attack is
the can't miss.
Can't miss, yeah.
Right.
No, but his 1 is not can't miss currently. Correct.
No.
So
correct.
I actually like what you said there with removing the crit ups.
Yeah.
With the empowered strength ups, he would get pretty brutal, wouldn't he?
Yeah. With a can't miss.
Well, see, I had a little on the first one. My take on that was we were going to leave it like it was, but only make the buffs last 1 turn. So they drop off the next turn. So you got to use it again on the same technique to get them again, or use number 2 to take advantage of those empowered strength ups. Then it drops off. Kind of like how Robin's drops off on him when he powers up, so you just can't constantly buff up. That I would change that to the first one, only make it a 1 turn. For number 2, I was thinking something just a little tiny bit different. I would have it like 80% chance to hit with a 50% to do double damage. And the legendary would be 100% chance to do double damage if someone was invisible or taunting. And of course that would ring up. You'd start off with 60%, ringing it up all the way to 80%. Everything else I think's pretty decent. And then I was going to say for the last ability, number 5, I was going to say is legendary. Just apply buff immunity to the attacker. But other than that, it's a pretty decent kit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the can't miss on the 1 isn't as gated. I think they should gate it behind the legendary point, like Biff said. That makes a little more sense than him just coming right out of the package, ready to rip people apart. The 2 is the one I changed the most. What I put here is I would take away the 50% chance to hit and just allow it as a normal hit and make it an AoE that stuns the primary target if Cyborg has True Sight to kind of play off of his other True Sight stuff in the kit. So it's similar to a Kilowog in a sense there. In Overclock, the only change I made there was actually slowing them down a little bit, the gain the 50% turn meter. I put that as a 70% chance to gain 50% turn meter, so it's not constantly happening. Other than that, what did I put here for the team sport? I said, I think this is cool. What was that again? Oh, yeah, that is cool. I like that one. Well, that's the can't miss buff. That's why I said I think this one's cool. And, the 5th one kind of confused me on the legendary point. But other than that, it's a really, really solid kit. I enjoyed reading it, so I appreciate it, Lunatic Zombie.
Yeah.
There's only one thing I would take out of it. That 50% chance to hit on his charged cannon move. I hate that.
Yeah, I don't like that now on him. I think charge cannon right now is a 50% chance to hit right now.
Yeah.
Unless you manipulate the can't miss.
But if you use it second.
Mm-hmm. I always
100%
forget.
chance to hit.
Pisses me off when I've used Cyborg before just for fun, and I forget about that. And I'm like, boom, I hit charge cannon, and it's like miss. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and if you do auto with him, he's always going to pick that move first.
Yeah.
You use Cyborg for fun?
No,
Dude,
I'm talking a long time ago. Long
He was
time.
my first 5-star or L5 too.
Oh,
I love Cyborg. I'm kind of liking seeing these kits and AB picking him for a rework because I would love for Cyborg to get a rework. He would be rebirthed right off the bat for me.
all of us would. I think everybody would.
He's a fun character.
I think.
Yeah, I have
everybody
enough.
would.
I have enough shards to RB6 him right now.
Plus, they need to rework him because he's on Convoluted's list
Oh, that's true.
as best raid tunes.
Oh boy. Well, thank you once again to Lunatic Zombie for writing that into us, and let that be a lesson to all of you. I'll read anybody's letter on the air if we get enough. Maybe we'll do more mailbag segments in the future. Write in, talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. And on that note, I think it's time we start wrapping this thing up. We'll start with Retmus. Give us your final thoughts, pal.
I just wanted to tell everybody I had a great time with you all as usual. I want to wish everybody a great weekend, and if for Memorial Day in the U.S., hope everybody enjoys it. Now that COVID has died down a little bit, maybe be able to spend some time with your family and stuff. Have a nice cookout for a change. How many, times have we had to put, all that, push it back because we weren't able to do it because of the situation. But now we have that.
Sure.
So spend some time with your family. Enjoy this raid-free weekend, and I wish everybody the best of luck in the upcoming raids.
Excellent. Thank you, Retmus. Appreciate it. Always a pleasure to hear from you.
Thank you.
No, it is. I mean, wouldn't you guys agree? It's always a pleasure to hear him give his final word. It's like,
Well, yeah, the rest of us are dicks, and then he comes in
Yeah,
as
no.
a
Super positive.
shining sun.
He's like the religious uncle at Thanksgiving that gives like this awesome toast, makes everyone feel good about themselves for a second, and then bad about themselves that he's so
You're
good
listening
and you're
to
not.
him, and then you look down at the booze
know.
in
And
your
then back
hand
to
and
Black
feel
Flash.
bad.
yeah. Well, see, there's a reason why I spaced them out. You guys are finally on to me. Biff, why don't you share your final word, pal?
Yeah, so I want to thank a large group of people and not thank one person, but the large group of people is our military. Memorial Day, it's not just a grilling weekend. It's for a reason. We want to thank the people that, AB I know hates the thank you for your service bit, but AB, Wally Ball, on our alliance, I want to thank the two of you, and I want to thank all of our veterans for what they've sacrificed to make the United States great. And the person I don't want to thank is Mother Nature, because it has been pouring for 3 straight days and will pour all the way through tomorrow here in Connecticut, and I hate you.
It's because you live in Connecticut, bro.
Oh yeah, okay, 313. You don't exactly live in Punta Cana either, dude.
Hey, at least it's sunny here, motherfucker.
Well, thank you, Biff. Much appreciated. All right, Whitty, what's the URL for your Only Refunds page?
I thought you were managing that.
You want me to manage that? You're in bigger trouble than I thought.
Really? I was counting on it.
Well, all right. I'll tell you what. We'll make it happen now. Whitty, what's your final thoughts for the day?
You know what? I'm pissed at you because I'm going third. That means I'm the third nicest person here. You started with Retmus, then Biff, then me. So that's gotta mean something.
No.
What the hell does that mean for me?
We know what that means.
It just said at the beginning. Retmus is the nice one, and you're the dick. So if I'm going right before you, it means I'm not nice either.
You're the tip of.
It was just it was a coin flip, Whitty. That's all it was.
I actually think out of all of us, BF is the second nicest one.
Right.
Believe it or not.
Okay, so I should go last next time. Damn it.
All right, well then I'll tell you what. Next time, Whitty, you'll go last, just for that.
I'm okay with that. I just don't want to go first. I was waffling for some reason, so.
Oh, gosh. That's the only place to be. All right. Thank you, Whitty. Appreciate it. Black Flash, you get the last word today. Tell us what's going down, bud.
I'm just curious. I got to ask Biff a question.
Oh, God. There we go.
Who did you piss off, dude?
What do you mean?
Both new reworks can't miss. Lunatic Zombie, he's sending in can't miss. There's just can't miss everywhere. Somebody's out to get you.
That's what, you know what it is? It's your fault, just to let you know.
Why me?
Because Black Flash got evasions back into the forefront. Now, the way Steve and crew works is we have a problem, we address it. So Black Flash creates evasion comps. Evasion comps create Terra, Starfire, fucking Lunatic Zombie with his can't miss fucking blast. and it's all a cycle. But you know what? My evasions will be here. We're not going anywhere, people.
I think you pissed somebody off. That was a good spiel, but I think you pissed somebody off.
Yeah.
I, by the way, love the reworks. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
And by the way, the good news is everyone's always, and I've said this on other shows, I hate with these people that just like, oh, your evasion comes so easily countered. Yeah, I get it. But you know what? I get to pick who I go up against. Like, if it's a team of Terra, newly reworked Cyborg, and Starfire, I'm not coming in with Batgirl, all right? So we're all good.
Well, I guess my final word after all that is good job, Steve. We're happy with the reworks. I don't mind the tunes last month. Actually, good job so far this year. It hasn't been actually that terrible. Keep going. 2021's been a decent tune year so far, I feel like.
Yeah. Not too bad.
There's some turds, but it's mostly been shiny turds.
Yeah, I'd have to say. But I couldn't find fault with that argument. Well, we want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to be with us today. You never have to miss an episode if you subscribe. And while you're there, drop us some love with likes, stars, high fives, hashtags, whatever you got in front of you, and spread the word if you like what you hear, because we depend on you to help us grow, and we certainly appreciate you for doing so. We'll see you next time right here for another episode of Atlantis After Dark. For BF, Whitty, Retimus, and Biff, so long, everybody.
Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful podcasters ever assembled. Super Male, Biff Man, Whitty Amazon, Black Flash, Retimus, AB, dedicated to fun, entertainment, and quality podcasting everywhere. This is Atlantis After Dark.